Why? A lot of people watch TV and movies in English. Fine. But honesty, that might not be the best way to improve your English. Film is very how to learn English with waste English story. For now, here is a list of tips and advice for learning English with the best English stories. Just listen. First of all, you don't really have to do much more than just listen to the episodes. I realized some time ago that a lot of the students of English that I met at a school in London did not listen to enough authentic English. They were willing to spend money and travel across the world in order to improve their English, and at most of them, for some reason, were not prepared to take a bit of time every day to listen to something in English. Why? I think partly this is because they didn't know what to listen to. A lot of people watch TV and movies in English. Fine, but honesty, that might not be the best way to improve your English. Film is very visual. So a lot of students didn't know what to listen to. They thought that they didn't have much choice. Actually, there is plenty of choice out there. A lot of what you understand from a movie is the visual storytelling. It is important to just focus on the audio, on the language. The BBC has plenty of podcasts. There are load of podcasts on different topics on tunes, but they are all made of native speakers. They are too difficult to listen to and unlimitedly that's not motivating. There are some podcasts out there which are made for learners of English, but a lot of them are just focused on language learning at the expense of entertainment. They are useful, but they are a bit dull. This is less the case now because 5 years after starting this podcast, there are more interesting things out there for learners of English, including my podcasts. So I decided that I did try to create something or learners of English to listen to that they would actually want to listen to beyond just learning English. Ultimately, I think to listen to English for extended periods of time, you have to have an interest in what is being talking about, or you have to find it entertaining. Otherwise, it's hard to really sustains your concentration and it becomes like a chore. There is a real value in listening to the English for extended periods of time, but it's difficult to achieve because you get put off by not understanding things or because of the according is a bit patronizing and dull. I don't want to blow my own trumpet there too much because I am sure that my podcast is not always as entertaining or as engaging as it could be. But I think the only way to the get people to keep listening is to try to make it entertaining as well as informative about English. So I recorded this postcard with you in mind. But I try to keep it as authentic as possible. I try to avoid being simplistic. I try to not grade my English too much. I know it might be challenging for you some things, but I attempt to hold your attention by talking in the authentic way about subjects which I personally find interesting. Hopefully, that result is that you keep listening and that you feel personally involved in that somehow. Then, by exposing yourself to lots of English in this way, you are able to acquire the language to pick it up in a variety of ways. The important thing is that you focus on the masses in a bit of language. So, when listening to Waste English stories podcast, this means focusing actually on what I really mean rather than just on the specific items of language I am using. The primary focus is to just understand what I mean, hopefully at a fairly deep level, in order to laugh at something I have said or feel moved by it. And then you kind of pick up the language as a result of that. You might not be immediately aware that you have learned some new language in this way. So, if you like this way to learn English, so please like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.